Welcome to everybody. I don't know if other people have had the experience recently where you wake up and you say, "Oh, I want to ask Paula about this. I wonder what she'd think about this." And so there's that big sea change, big marker. Paula died very recently, February 21st, beloved colleague and friend of people worldwide. Comforting to be together. She wanted us to take the work forward, and that's our focus tonight. In a very concrete way, we'll be continuing her work as we hear songs about building bridges, and then we'll meet in small groups for conversation. Whether or not you knew Paula, we are here to honor all of you for the flame in your heart that calls you to take part in this event. So let's start by greeting each other. There are 3 unique peace-building organizations that share a deep connection at their origins through Paula. And the seed for Hands Across the Hills started with Ben Fink, who met, hello, and Jay Frost from Leverett. Jay, would you wave? Yeah, there's Jay. So the 2 of them got connected. And that was the first spark, the first seed for Hands Across the Hills. Hands Across the Hills is sponsoring tonight. And if you are part of that group, would you wave so we can kind of get a reference point? I'm going to be asking a lot of questions because I want to welcome people in lots of ways. If you've ever attended a dialogue training or another event from Hands Across the Hills, would you wave so we also see people who have that kind of familiarity? Oh, great. Now, Karuna Center, Paula started that in 1994. And I see Laura Anderson here, who is part of the staff. And after Paula stepped down as director, Olivia Dreyer was director, and now Polly Byers. People who feel connected to Karuna, let's wave, and it's find a wave for lots of different things. So we're connecting across these airwaves. Great. Another thing is that Paula worked in 30 different countries. And if you are here tonight and you're not currently in the United States, would you unmute and tell us where you're from so that we can welcome you and connect to you? Is there anyone that's true for? We're all on. Okay, well, we're remembering that in another way too. When Paula started Contact, which began in 97, every year for 3 weeks, there might be as many as 17 different countries represented. Contact stands for Conflict Transformation Across Cultures. If you ever either taught in that program or attended it, Contact, let's wave and identify ourselves as well. I see Deb Snow here, who she initiated Bridge for Unity, where we're half BIPOC and half European descent. And she worked closely with inviting Paula to get involved, leading dialogue. If you're part of Bridge for Unity, let's say hello. Sharon, welcome. If you're a neighbor, affinity group member, or someone who knew Paula through her writing or teaching, I want to make sure everyone's had a chance to wave. And if I haven't said how you identify with her, great. Just unmute and say more of how you'd like to describe yourself. Has everyone had a chance to greet these screens, these circles? So could we just take a deep breath together and arrive here in the meaning, the dialogue work, and that building bridges has for you. Let's remember that all across the world, the countless people working for peace, so that we're like a constellation connecting heart to heart to heart. Just take a moment, just a moment of silence so that you can feel yourself arriving here with all these people with common concern. Thank you. You may also have been having the sensation of feeling hungry to see Paula's face, hear her voice. There's some great interviews to see. And if you haven't gone to her website, there's this beautiful picture where she's receiving the Unsung Hero of Compassion Award from His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. It's so beautiful because you see their eyes meeting. And Paula said, people advised her, just focus. Don't worry about what you're going to say, but just drink in that moment when you're with His Holiness. I see people here who've been part of one of those beautiful Zooms that Lichi, Melika Samdani, and Tats Arai had organized. And I'd like to repeat the centering question that they had. You might enjoy how they framed it. They said, what's the most important gift you received from Paula that you want to embody and share with others? So tonight, we are sharing that gift of exchange. Paula was intrigued by this format where we're going to have songs and conversation on Zoom. Oh my gosh, it's a whole new invention. What's so interesting is Paula was there when we were talking about this at a Hands Across the Hills meeting, and she explicitly said, I think you should pick a date soon, which is poignant to think about at this point. But people in Half said, another question that we could carry tonight, especially because we're going to be in small groups. Is there collaborative work that might be seeded tonight? So let's really enjoy this networking of like-minded folks. And now to bring us into music, Gwen Johnson, who is a committed founder of Hands Across the Hills, as well as one of the dialogue trainers with Paula and Ben in the Dialogue Across Divides. Will you start us off and tell us about the significance of the song you're sharing? Thanks, Gwen.
Thank you, Sarah. I just want to echo a welcome to everybody. The night that we rolled into Leverett, it's a long story how we got there, and it was a long trip to get there. But when we rolled into Leverett, we were expecting to roll in. I mean, some of us were expecting to roll into a city. And we rolled into this quaint little place, and we were pleasantly surprised by that. And we were met by a group of folks who helped us. I remember Jim Perkins extending his hand out and helping me alight from the van, and then they led us across the road into the town hall. And once we were in the town hall, we were looking at each other, trying to, just trying. What was in my mind was, I was like, oh my God, these people are so much nicer than I was expecting them to be. And I was just, really nervous about what we were embarking on, because I knew we had these differences, and we had been told we were going to stay in their homes, and I was a little bit nervous about that. And then we went into that room, and we were kind of circled up in there, and we just proposed that we sing a song. And everybody held hands and we sang Bright Morning Star. And it was a moment I'll never forget. And then when the choir sung to us at the assembly, the public forum that was held, the choir had rehearsed that song, and I didn't have any idea that that would be a song that they had rehearsed to sing to us. So it was just, I just think it's very fitting that we sing Bright Morning Star right now. So I'm going to start it out.
Start with Bright Morning Star. So yeah, I'll harmonize with you.
Okay. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear mothers? Oh, where are our dear mothers? Oh, where are our dear mothers? Day is breaking in my soul.
They have gone to heaven shouting. They have gone to heaven shouting. They have gone to heaven shouting. Day is a breaking in my soul.
Oh, where are our dear fathers? Oh, where are our dear fathers? Oh, where are our dear fathers? Days are breaking in my soul.
They are down in the valley praying. They are down in the valley praying. They are down in the valley praying. Day is a breaking in my soul. Bright morning. Go back to you, Gwen and Ben. Circle us round.
And in fact, I'm thinking about, you can't really harmonize on Zoom because it's asynchronous, but if people want to do a drone underneath it, I bet that will work. We could try it.
Yeah.
Bright morning
Stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are gorgeous.
That moment with the mountains of Leverett around was that first sense of reaching across the mountains. And the bright colors of the fall were there. We just want to weave you all into this reaching across and the building of the bridges. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to have a chance for Eric, Gwen, Ben, and myself to each do one song. And as you're hearing these, we're choosing songs that have to do with building bridges. Next, what will happen is people will randomly be in groups of 3. And your question, so that it might be helpful to hear it right now. What is something in the music that speaks to the bridging and dialogue that you are part of? And it doesn't have to be formal bridging or dialogue, but just that whole impulse. Eric will say more about that. But I want to introduce Eric and just give you a chance to introduce yourself. It's part of the wonder of tonight that you're here from in Los Angeles, sharing your music and your extensive experience in building bridges. So welcome to Eric Law.
Thank you, Sarah. Really is an honor to be invited to be part of your community, all the way from California. And love hearing the context of all the wonderful things that you folks are doing between Kentucky and Western Mass, right? My context is that back in the 90s, I was in Los Angeles when the riots happened. And the riot began when Rodney King's incident, he was beaten up by 5 police officers, and the trial came out that the police officers were acquitted. And there was so much anger all throughout the city. And there's a real sense of helplessness. Here we go again, because we had the Watts riot, which is the most famous in the 60s. And so I was right in this middle of the city working at USC. And soon after the riot, I was invited by the Interreligious Council of Southern California to design and engage people from 9 major religions to have dialogue on race, not on religion, on race. And I actually designed a 5-evening dialogue session involving 55 faith communities and 200 plus participants, and we did 2 years worth of dialogue, and I have never stopped since. Training facilitator to create what I call gracious and brave space for true conversation. And of course, this recurring feelings that is happening again was becoming more frequent in the last 5 years. But backtrack a little bit. I founded an institute called the Kaleidoscope Institute to really train more people to do this across the country, and in Canada, and I've done work in the Philippines, Italy, Australia. Turns out there were polarization all over the world. But anyway, so I like to, and I think it's divine providence that I met Sarah. And we met and become fast friends, and we started talking about, wait a minute, why don't Sarah said invite me to do this, so I'm here. Okay, so I'm going to share with you a song called Recreate. And it's the title song for my new album that's coming up in April. So along of being a facilitator for Gracious Conversation, I'm also a songwriter. And this is a song that that pick up on the feelings that is getting harder and harder to get up every morning and face the divided world that we live in. And yet we have to do it. And this song is about the process of making that room, making that space in ourselves to deal with all those conflicting emotions, to be ready, and then be ready to open our house for real people coming in to engage. So this is Recreate. Lay down every night to rest my weary bones. The house is quiet now, I hear my yearning groans. Knowing I can't change the things, what's done today was done. Come sleep, come dreams, prepare me for the rising sun. Opened up my mind to greet the morning light. I hear knocking on my door, they've come here for a fight. Thank God for my faithful friends, hope, courage and grace. Come rise with me, we'll welcome them to grace our space. Shame and sorrow, defeat, embarrassment, pride and anger, suspicions and lament. Come on in, Elle, I've cleaned my house to make a braver space. Come play with me, we'll decorate this gracious place. Bless my day and give me grace, so I'll be kind and brave in this place to stop hate and recreate. Friends who disagree and friends who think like me. You may live on country roads or cities by the sea. Come on in and meet my friends, hope, courage and grace. Come dance with us, we'll recreate a graceful day. Bless our day and give us grace, so we'll be kind and brave in this place to stop hate and recreate. And we'll celebrate, and we'll regenerate a graceful day, a grateful day.
I've been trying to find me a song to sing because I didn't rehearse one. But I found one here that I really like. It's called Better Farther On. You want to sing it with me, Ben?
I'll join in the chorus. Yeah, you start though.
Okay. As we travel through the desert, storms beset us by the way. But beyond the river Jordan lies a field of endless days. Farther on, still go farther. Count the milestones one by one. Jesus will forsake you never. It is better farther on. Oh, my brother, are you weary of the roughness of the way? Does your strength begin to fail you and your vigor to decay? Farther on, still go farther. Count the milestones one by one. Jesus will forsake you never. It is better farther on. Hark the voice of Eden stealing softly in an undertone. Hark, I hear a gentle whisper. It is better farther on. Farther on, still go farther. Count the milestones one by one. Jesus will forsake you never. It is better farther on. At my grave, oh, still be singing, though you weep for one that's gone. Sing it as we once did sing it. It is better farther on. Farther on, still go farther. Count the milestones one by one. Jesus will forsake you never. It is better farther on.
Here's a candle and thanks for those beautiful, luscious harmonies, Gwen and Ben, and to thank you, Eric, for just writing that from your heart, from your experience. I'm so glad that you could be part of this tonight. I think everyone's feeling the same. You know, I found out recently that in some parts of the world, the day a person dies is called their continuation day. And a week after February 21st, Paula's continuation day, I had a dream. And in the dream, there was a tree of life, and people were thanking Paula. And every time they spoke, all of a sudden their words appeared on bark, and clothespins were putting it up on the tree of life. And pretty soon I was hearing a song form. So I'd like to share that song with you. The central image is going through a door, and by coincidence, Susie Belleci, who's a 20-year colleague of Paula, said this about doors and Paula. I guess a lot of people would say to Paula, well, how do you know what to do? How do you know what's the next step? What should you say? And what's my next step? And Paula would just smile and laugh. And then one day she said to Susie, what I do in those moments is I feel as if I'm at a door and I choose to open the door and go in. It's like so beautiful. So this song is both called Gardens of Peace, and it has a chorus, we can open a door to peace. And I wish we could join voices directly. She went to places of war to help meet soul to soul and exchange the hope and the pain. When I know your story and you know mine, something inside us can change. We can open a door to peace. Step up and walk through that door, through the doubt, through the fear. Let your heart draw you near to the place we become something more. Rwanda and Bosnia, Sudan, Senegal, her compassion and teaching spread far. Sri Lanka, Nepal, and right here at home, crossing divides, she lives on. We can open a door to peace. We can open a door to peace. Step up and walk through that door, through the doubt, through the fear. Let your heart draw you near to the place we become something more. When I lose hope and freeze in despair, I remember she kept going on. When I feel helpless at heartless attacks, again I raise up her song. We can open a door to peace. Step up and walk through that door, through the doubt, through the fear. Let your heart draw you near to the place we become something more. She grew gardens of peace that still are in reach, and the fruits we hold in our hands. We are not people of war, we carry peace evermore toward a world that our hearts have planned. We can open a door to peace. We can open a door to peace. Once more, take her hand and more deeply understand how the ripples we start will increase. We can open a door to peace.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Sarah sang me that song first on the phone the other day, brand new, and it is so lovely. Thank you. Well,
Ben, would you say what happened while the song was going on, what you saw out the window?
yeah. So I was driving down here to the coal fields, and I was driving through the town of Carlisle, Pennsylvania, which is Appalachian, Pennsylvania, near Harrisburg. And literally, as Sarah was singing that song, drove past a guy, kind of tall, I believe it was a guy, but not entirely sure. Tall, long black, long curly hair, with a cowboy hat on, and a jean jacket with a Confederate flag on the back. And what Sarah and I were talking about afterwards is what we've all been learning together is you see someone like that and it's easy to turn away, right? It's easy to dismiss the person. It's easy to say that person's the enemy. And, you know, we're not perfect. We react the way we react. And, you know, different people are going to have different, you know, sort of places where they're at. But I think what a lot of us are learning together is, you know, when we're able to walk toward that person and to find out about that person, find out about that person's life. You know, I know people who started off wearing Confederate flags and ended up being multiracial justice organizers. I mean, it's just to see what we can build and be together. And I think it was quite a moment seeing that as Sarah was singing me that song. Sarah, is there anything you wanted to add to that? I'll take that as a, go ahead, Sarah.
I think what's so amazing about this work, just like Susie having that conversation, and what you were saying, Eric, about you find this place inside you. Oh, you just put that so well. I think, see, tonight we want that spirit of discovery where your experiences matter. And after Ben sings, we'll be getting into the small groups. So, Ben.
Sure. So I feel like I was getting a sense of we're singing hymns, things that feel like hymns anyway. Gwen sang, you know, an actual old hymn, and Eric and Sarah, you sang songs that felt very hymn-like to me. So I want to attempt to bridge that gap a little bit. This is a song that I wrote, but very much in the style of the kind of music that is often sung down here. This is a hymn I wrote about a year and a few months ago on the occasion of last January, and it's called Inauguration Hymn. And it goes like this. Savior, look upon our nation. See how far we have to go. All will come to desolation till we learn to love we know. Can we make the change that's needed? Make a land with room for all? Or have we the dream conceded? Have we reached our final fall? Lord, we pray, end our stagnation. Let us rise above our past at this day's inauguration. May we learn to grow at last. Where are those we called our leaders, who stood tall and spoke the truth? As the righteous fall like cedars, who inspires our growing youth? May we build new inspiration. May our elders plant the seeds. May the young take up their station. May new leaders grow like weeds. Love, we pray, be our foundation. Give us fertile ground at last, at this day's inauguration. May we learn to hope at last. break the tempter's fatal power, turn our stony hearts to flesh, bring us out from this good hour to renew our work afresh. Give us strength to stay persistent. May we rise above our past. May the day be not far distant when we learn to love at last. Love, we pray, redeem our nation as our enemies stand massed at this day's inauguration. May we learn to love at last.
Thank you, Ben. Yes, that's a good hymn. I want to get that. um, so some of you might know that I'm an Episcopal minister. I've been ordained for 35 years, and I'm retired and spending a lot more time with music. So faith is a deep part of who I am. So thank you, Ben. Thank you, Sarah, for that song, and thank you, Gwen. So we're going to move into small groups of 3, and to share your reflection on the songs. And so before you go into the group, and the question is, what in the songs kind of speak to you about your bridging and your dialogue work that you've been part of. And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be, fabulous and ingenious. It just needs to be you. And so when we listen to each other and share, here's 3 very simple rules. Be kind, be truthful, and be supportive. And be kind often means don't debate. Just receive, and be supportive means to listen. Just listen with your heart. Be open to that. And be truthful means claiming that which is yours by using I statement. I think, I believe, I felt. When we say that and combine with everybody else being kind, being truthful, and listening, we will have a wonderful time just staying with each other's truth as we move forward. So we will have Sarah, about 10 minutes. Is that correct?
That's right. So each person, if you facilitate as a group so that everybody has 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's make it 11, Ben. So that it's that little slosh.
Yeah. So here's one technique you can use instead of waiting for someone who's going to go next. Someone start, and then after you share, invite someone. You got 2 other persons to choose from, right? Invite that person. And then after you share, invite the last person. So you don't have to wait. And when you're invited, when you don't want to say anything, feel free to say pass too. You don't have to say anything. Okay, so be yourself, be with each other that way. See?
The second round is going to have a different order. It's going to be, we had planned Gwen, Ben, Eric, and then myself. Does that still work for folks, or would you like a little time to think? We can do it reverse with Eric, then me, if you'd like. Ben and Gwen.
I'm up for whatever.
Then let's go to our the plan we made, that it would be Ben, Gwen, Eric, and then myself.
Oh, me. Plan was Gwen first, I think. But go ahead, Gwen.
Are you trying to shirk your duty?
100%.
Okay.
You go right on ahead.
Okay, this was the song I was looking for that I couldn't find. And so while everybody was in the breakout rooms, Ben found the name of it for me. Because I had tried every line in it and it didn't work. So there's a fountain free, 'tis for you and me. Let us haste, oh haste to the brink. 'Tis a fount of love from the source above, and he bids us all freely drink. Will you come to the fountain free? Will you come? 'Tis for you and me, thirsty soul. Hear the welcome call. 'Tis a fountain open for all. There's a living stream and its crystal gleam from the throne of life. Now it flows. While the waters roll, let the weary soul hear the call that forth freely goes. Will you come to the fountain free? Will you come? 'Tis for you and me, thirsty soul. Hear the welcome call. 'Tis a fountain open for all. There's a rock that's cleft and no soul is left that may not its pure water share. 'Tis for you and me and its stream I see. Let us hasten joyfully there. Will you come to the fountain free? Will you come? 'Tis for you and me, thirsty soul. Hear the welcome call. 'Tis a fountain open for all.
So, song that came to me when I was hearing the last round and actually kind of resonates in an interesting way with that one too is another song that's got a long history with Hands Across the Hills. It's a song that Gwen and I sang on the last night. You know, we talk a lot about the first night of Hands Across the Hills that Gwen told us about before, but I think equally important is the last night of a couple of our gatherings, including that first one, where we just got together with a bunch of neighbors to jam. And they brought instruments and they brought songbooks, and we were just sitting around until it got so late we needed to get back home because we had a 16, 17-hour van ride back to Letcher County the next day. And song we sang toward the end of that is another favorite of mine, also kind of a contemporary hymn. I didn't write this one, wish I did. It is by a man named Richard Blakesley and was made famous by someone dear to my heart and many others too, who was Mr. Leonard Cohen, the dearly departed. And this is called Passing Through. Gwen, feel free to join me, of course.
Okay.
I saw Adam in the garden with an apple in his hand. I said, now you're out. What are you gonna do? Plant some crops and pray for rain. Maybe raise a little cane. I'm an orphan now and I'm only passing through. Passing through, passing through. Sometimes happy, sometimes blue. Glad that I ran into you. Tell the people that you saw me passing through. Feel free to sing that chorus in the future. Keep muted if you would because of Zoom delay awfulness, but feel free to sing with. I saw Jesus on the cross on a hill called Calvary. Do you hate mankind for what they've done to you? He said, talk of love, not hate. There's things to do, it's getting late. We've so little time and we're only passing through. Passing through, passing through. Sometimes happy, sometimes blue. Glad that I ran into you. Tell the people that you saw me passing through. I was with Washington at Valley Forge, shivering in the snow. I asked, why do men suffer like they do? Men will suffer, men will fight, even die for what is right, even though they know they're only passing through, passing through, passing through. Sometimes happy, sometimes blue. Glad that I ran into you. Tell the people that you saw me passing through. I was at Franklin Roosevelt's side the night before he died. He said, one world must come out of World War II. Ah, the fool. Yankee, Russian, white or tan, you know a man is still a man. We've just got one world and we're only passing through. Passing through. Passing through. Sometimes happy, sometimes blue. Glad that I ran into you. Tell the people that you saw me passing through. Gwen taught me this last verse. I was with those freedom riders on the way to Birmingham. They said we all are equal, that is true. And the answer when it came brought those freedom riders fame. Freedom's colors, red and white, and black and blue. Passing through, passing through. Sometimes happy, sometimes blue. Glad that I ran into you. Tell the people that you saw me passing through.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Gwen. Love that song. I need to learn that one. Thank you for the history lessons of all the presidents and all the. Sarah and I was looking through my song catalog and trying to find a song that would be appropriate for this. And Ben has started us in going back in history, and we all passed through. So I'm going even further back. What we're dealing with in terms of conflicts and polarization and goes way, 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 way back. And I, one of the recurring pattern of my experience in doing this work is that sometimes I wake up in the morning, I read the news, I watch local news, by the way. And you get this feeling, oh God, here we go again. Why are we fighting a war again? What is going on here? Haven't we learned anything, right? I mean, this is recurring feeling. So I was working on a song about George Floyd and Derek Chauvin. Sometimes we don't name all the people involved. And I was trying to get a different take on it, so much of it is taking sides, and so as I was working on it, the story in Genesis came to me about Cain and Abel. So this is a song about this deep things that we humankind has about aggression, about insecurity, about harming each other, and God's question to Cain was, where's your brother? What have you done? And his answer was, how should I know? Am I my brother's keeper? So that's the chorus. If you want to sing with me, okay. So this song is about questioning that, and okay. So. Cain and Abel, they were the, wait, hold on, let's start over again. Cain and Abel, the legendary brothers. One felt insecure and blamed the other. Abel died from his brother's aggression. Cain was left alone to face questions that he would answer with more questions. Where is your brother? Oh, what have you done? How should I know? Am I my brother's keeper? Where is your brother? What have you done? How should I know? Am I my brother's keeper? George and Derek might have known one another. They went about the day like any other. They would soon become infamous brothers. One was fearful of the crowd, while the other died crying for his mother. Where is your brother? What have you done? How should I know? Am I my brother's keeper? Where is your brother? What have you done? How should I know? Am I my brother's keeper? Ronald and Vincent, Dwayne and Amanda, Darren and Michael, Daniel and Eric, George and Trayvon, Dan and Harvey, Aaron and Russell and Matthew. The list goes on and on and on. Why keep replaying the same sad story, framing our victims in uneasy glory? Who'll be our next Cain and Abel? Which home will get the empty chair at the heartbroken table? Why is our world so cruel and unforgiving? How did we make so many fearful siblings? Where is your sister? Where is is your brother? Will our answer be like all the others? How should I know? Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my sister's keeper? Am I my sibling's keeper? Am I my brother's keeper? Thank you.
Oh, Eric, it's just such an important song. When you were speaking about which home will get the empty chair, will you tell us about some of the people in history that you mentioned in the song? There are a few pairs that people might not know.
So Ronald and Vincent, that happened in the 70s, when the Japanese car company was making lots of money, and in Michigan, a man named Dwayne found Vincent Chin and thought he was Japanese and killed him. He was an auto worker in Michigan. There were, and you recognize some of the name: Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin. The ones that you might not know is Dwayne and Amanda. Amanda was the first trans person that was murdered in open air in New York City. Someone just knifed her. She, and she sparked the movement back then in the 80s. Dan White and Harvey Milk, and then the last one is Matthew Shepard, and so I thought there's a much longer list, but I thought it would be a good song to sing to kids, and they can research these incidents, and that would be fun, interesting to write a song that way, a little obscure and keep your interest going.
Oh, it's the ability of your songs to really go deep. Thank you so much. I keep thinking Paul is here. It's an amazing feeling. And I wanted to say hello to Laura, Jim's daughter, and to Peg, Paula's cousin, and just and greet you, and just in that poignancy. My song is the last one of this. It's our last block of songs, and after this we'll go into the very same trios to talk. The song I'm choosing is quite simple. This fall at the Interfaith Council, we said, what's the essence of what we want to do this year? And the words are, "You're not alone." We'll be singing that, then we'll sing "I'm not alone," and then "We're not alone." Sometimes it feels that just having someone with you, understanding you, makes all the difference. Let me teach you how this goes. In fact, Eric, let's do that famous echoing back and forth that we were thinking of. You're not alone.
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 Same words, will you echo with Eric? You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Like, oh, just you're like pour it out to each other. You're not alone.
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 Because we're not alone, I want to respond to the need for a different key.
All right.
Okay, if I hope I don't make it worse. Let's sing I'm Not Alone. And let's claim that. So I'm not alone. Does it help to go higher? Then you can go lower. Yes, maybe. I'm not alone.
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 Let's stretch out our hands. We're not alone.
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 Ah, the essence, the essence. We go now into our last breakout room. Same folks. And the question is that same, but I'm also gonna give Eric, Ben, and Gwen a chance if you want to reframe the question. It's kind of the sense of something you just heard in the music that called up for you.
Mhm.
What it's all about these days, here with our hearts in the world, caring as we do.
Mm.
Maybe I would say something that struck you between the last time we were there and now, something that either came from something you've heard from us or just something you've been thinking about in the last 20 minutes. So what are you thinking about now that's different than you were thinking about 20 minutes ago in response to those same questions?
And to use a musical term, what resonate with you? What buzz? What rings out in you as you throughout this last hour? Okay.
And welcome back. Before we move toward a close, just want to make room if there is anybody who would like, either in the chat or just by speaking out into silence, just hear a few people sharing what you have heard, stuff you've heard in the groups that either something you shared or somebody else did that resonates, that you want to share with more people. Just got just a few minutes for that. If you want to throw stuff in the chat, or if you want to just speak out into the silence right here.
Paula is still bringing us together.
Yay.
Mm. Thank you, Lois. Anybody else?
And I think she inspires us all with her just determination and saying, this is what needs to be done, and not feeling daunted by just how impossibly huge the task is, but just enjoying the process.
Absolutely. Thank you, Laura. Anybody else?
I was pleased to meet two new people, so that's a gift.
Absolutely. The chance to meet new people who we might not otherwise have met, who we might not otherwise have met. So critical. Anybody else? Right.
Somebody's waving her hand.
Somebody's, go ahead. If you're waving your hand, just go ahead.
Wait,
and
you're
unmute.
mute. She's mute.
All right. Well, not hearing anything. We'll move
Oh, there
on
she
to
goes.
our
Perhaps-
final.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Yeah, Ben, I just wanted to mention, in our small group,
Yeah.
when you were talking about, when the gentleman was talking about meeting new people, we were wondering if we could get each other's email addresses for the people that got to meet in the small groups. I know it's a huge group to have everybody's email address, but if there's a way to do that, and if anybody wants them, could we get that through you?
I think the easy way to do that is before you get off, send a direct message on Zoom, on chat, say, hey, can I have your email? And just do it right now before you get off while we're singing our final song. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't want to share people's emails without permission. And I've not gotten that permission. So I would say if everybody on here, feel free to send a direct message saying, hey, I'd like to follow up with you and would love to get your email address. You do that. You won't be rude to do that during that final song. And then
And-
after, I'm sorry.
Can you do that to individual people
Yes, you
in the
can.
group?
Yep.
Okay, I have to figure that out. Hopefully I can do it. Okay.
Here's a quick tutorial. At the bottom where it says everyone, you click that little arrow and then whoops, there's all the names.
Thank
And
you.
so that's it. And Alessandra, you had just put Paula's name, and this is a yes or no question, but would you like to say anything about how you know her? How you know Paula?
Yes, I can say that I met Paula when I arrived in this country, 1999. And I've been at the School for International Training with her. I traveled to Pisa, Università Sant'Anna with her. We did a training in peace building for 1 week. And that was an incredible opportunity to meet her, to eat with her, to be with her. She met my parents. My mom is the same age than Paula, born in 1937. And she also met my mom. I think there is some resemblance between the two, I really think. And, I've been working, always thinking about her. I say I had an incredible spiritual teacher in Venezuela, and after her, I arrived in this country and I met Paula. And it's not just her principle, her Buddhism way of doing social justice, but it's the passion. And what we share with Deborah in my group is that for her, this was not a work, this was her life. And that's why she had so much energy to keep doing. And whatever she was doing so well that she could spread and multiply this work. And this is a gift. So it's in my heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alessandra.
You know,
People out
Ben,
there
maybe other
interested-
people have stories of Paula they want to say.
I want to suggest, because I know we've been on here a while, Sarah, I think you had the really good idea that if people want to stay on after the concert and
Yes.
share a while, they can definitely do that. And so we're gonna close the formal concert now, the formal program, with a final song, and then Sarah will close us out, and then anybody that wants to stay on and share more is welcome. And so we talked a lot about what song we wanted to end on, and I think we came up with a song that is in all of our hearts, we all have long histories with, and really speaks both to Paula's legacy and the work that we are doing and the world that we are in right now. And if you know the chorus, feel free to sing along. And if you don't know the chorus, you're going to pick it up real fast. And it goes like this. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, and I ain't gonna study war no more. Chorus. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more.
I'm gonna shake hands around the world.
Down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna shake hands around the world. Down by the riverside, and I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more.
I'm gonna stick my sword in the golden sand down by the riverside, down by the riverside, oh, down by the riverside. I'm gonna stick my sword in the golden sand down by the riverside. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more, no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more.
Gonna build the bridges across this land, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna build those bridges across this land, down by the riverside. Study war no more. Last time. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Please unmute. I ain't gonna study war no more.
Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no
When you blow a candle out, the light doesn't die, it flies inside. As I blow this out, and when I work with young people, we also can pretend we have our own candle, if you wish. And after the light goes out, would you join me in saying, I carry the flame? So take a moment to just really prepare that thought of the flame that you're carrying from this experience together, from knowing Paula, from your commitment to bridging and dialogue. Here you go. I carry the flame.
I carry the flame.
I carry the flame.
The flame.
I carry the
Carry
flame.
the flame.
Carry the
I carry the
flame.
Carry the flame.
I carry the
Carry
flame.
the flame. Carry the flame.
We carry the flame. We carry the flame.
We carry
We
the
carry
flame.
the flame.
Carry the
We
flame.
carry the flame.
Carry the flame.
Voices are so beautiful.
Mm. Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gwen and Ben and
Thanks,
Sarah and
Paula.
Eric. This was wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.